right, east, scissors trap at 3.
From inside the Bill Fralick Athletic Center at UHAS McGinley Stadium, this is the Coach's Corner. Along with the head coach of the Penn Hills Indians, Neil Gordon, I'm Bill Navari. Neil, earlier this season there were a couple of games where the Indians fell down by 2 touchdowns early, and you weren't happy about them after some games, and I mentioned to you, at least they didn't quit. And you thought about it for a sec, and you said, well, you're right, and we may need that later. Last week you fell down by 2 touchdowns. A lot of kids would quit at that point. These Indians didn't. They came back. They roared back from 14 points down there late in the first half, came back to beat the Gateway Gators last week, and it seems like the Indians have a little bit of momentum going their way.
Well, they've convinced me they're not quitters. And in this semifinal game against Central, I don't know what the score would have to be to make these kids quit. They've proven it all year, from the Bethel Park game in the opening week all the way down to that great contest last week. They've proven that they have confidence in themselves, and despite the fact they're down, they're going to keep plugging away, and it's helped. You know, we got 8 in a row here, a large number of which we were down at some point in time. So my hat's off to the kids. That's not something you teach. You can tell them all you want, don't quit until the final second ticks off and all that kind of stuff, but I think a kid that doesn't quit is a kid that doesn't quit, and this is a group of kids that don't quit.
I think last week one of the things that really impressed me was when I came down in the locker room at halftime. The Indians did not play well in the first half. They played, I think, as well as they could have. They were down by the 7 points. I really expected to come into that locker room and watch Neil Gordon breathing fire on these kids, trying to light a fire under them. But instead I saw somebody who was very calm, very confident, who said they'd rather be in this locker room than the Gateway locker room, and then said when you come out and scored this touchdown on this opening drive, not if, but when, that people were either going to think you were nuts or you had giant coconuts because you were going for 2. You knew that right off the bat, and you had that kind of confidence in these kids to know that that was going to happen.
Yeah, you know, when you get into the playoffs, it's not a breathing fire type of situation anymore. It's more of an academic type approach. And you know, our first thought was in the second half that Gateway hadn't really shown us that they could stop us from gutting them, running it right at them. And then we decided we were going to try to pound the ball right down their throats and make them stop us from running the ball. That was number one. And then number 2, we decided, well, let's go no huddle, change the trend of the game, change the pace of the game, and see with the constant pounding and no huddle if we could do something. And then if and when we were successful in doing that and taking it down the field, we should probably have them on their heels and thinking twice about what's going on. What a perfect time to go for 2. So, yeah, great job when it works. What are you, an idiot when it doesn't work? But it was a great job. It worked according to Hoyle. That's what we said in the halftime. That's what the kids did in the third quarter.
Coming into this week's contest, the Indians in Quad A have scored the most points so far in the playoffs. The Central Catholic Vikings have given up the least amount of points. So there's a nice offensive-defensive matchup. But, however, of those points that you guys have scored so far, the Indians have 4 touchdowns. So coming into this game, how important is it for the Indians to not only play well but maybe also try to get some points on the board?
Well, I think tomorrow's game, Billy, is going to just depend on the ebb and flow of the game. We're trying to get ourselves ready to speed it up, slow it down, throw it a ton, run it a ton, play good pass defense or play good run defense or emphasize one over the other, and just kind of see what happens. Central Catholic is going to probably think that they need to stop either this or that to win the game. It's usually the way you approach a game. If Central is going to dedicate their people to stopping us from running the ball, and that's a legitimate concern with Aaron, the night that Aaron had last week, then we have to be ready to see that and throw the ball. If they're going to jam that box inside, we're going to have to see that and get outside. And as they make their adjustments, we're going to have to make our adjustments. So it's going to be a little bit of a chess game. I think we're the underdog, and I don't think that we have a choice but to play a little chess game here and hope that we guess right and catch them in the wrong thing. So, if I was to tell you right now what I think I'm going to do or what the fans should watch for in this one, I don't know yet. I think it's going to depend on what goes on. It's so windy up there, and they're expecting a cold, windy night. That may just put the shides on the entire passing game for both teams. So I just don't know what's going to go on until tomorrow night.
Now, last week, you mentioned Aaron Williams, spectacular night running. Efforts, touchdown runs you couldn't believe, especially the 38-yarder when he broke 5 tackles to get into the end zone. Almost 200 yards rushing. Quietly, beneath all this, you had another player on the team, which had an absolutely marvelous game. A couple of passes, a spectacular touchdown catch in the end zone, some great blocks, great tackles defensively. I'm talking about Eric Taylor. Yeah. Now, what kind of a game? You're obviously going to need a game like that as well, not only from Eric, but also the rest of these kids.
Well, I think Eric's performance last week is going to give Central another thing to think about. Now, they can take Eric out of the game. They can double cover him out there or do this and that. But, if they're concerned about stopping Aaron and dedicate something to that, and they're also concerned about stopping Eric Taylor out there and dedicate a couple people out there, eventually they're going to leave that box open or leave Carlos Scott on the backside one-on-one, or they're going to do something. The key to our game tomorrow night is to figure out what they're trying to do, what their intentions are, and then try to counter. Not only Eric Taylor. You talk about Aaron, and Aaron did. I didn't realize what a great game Aaron had until I saw it Saturday morning. But the game that Eric Taylor had, the game that Gooseby had, the game that Blakeman had, the game that Fulton had, and Sipe, and on and on and on. I mean, they were just all over the place. The coverage that Freeman and DJ had, and the execution by Joe Rash, and the plugging those A gaps by Goldston and Garrett. I mean, it was just a pretty good effort the whole time. And then in the second half, when we decided we're going to come out and run the ball and run the ball and run the ball, then you're talking about the performances of John Garrett and Airgood and Coyle and Wally and Kircher and all those kids up there. So we had a lot of great efforts, and that was kind of the epitome of, or kind of epitomizes what this season has been the last 7 or 8 weeks. Good, gutsy, no give-up efforts.
It always makes it easier whenever it's a team effort as opposed to, you just mentioned the one player and they only have to focus on the one kid. One thing Neil Gordon has always said whenever you're preparing, especially in the playoffs, is when you come out, do you show another team everything in the prior game or do you show them nothing on your way? And one thing that you always seem to do every week is throw in something new. You did that last week with the throwback to Tommy Fulton, which it was there, but they weren't able to connect on the pass. Now, I'm sure this week some birdies are telling me that you're throwing in a few other little twists and turns. You don't have to be specific, but if you want to, maybe mention that a little bit.
Well, no kidding. I'm not going to be specific. Well, yeah, we always have something that we think can provide a spark and maybe catch them off guard, something they haven't seen. But then again, you can go back to things that we did maybe 5 or 6 weeks ago, too, that Central probably hasn't seen either. So there's not much new. The package is there, and it's in there. There might be a little wrinkle, maybe the same play out of a different formation or the same play out of motion that they haven't seen. But the package is the same. You're seeing what you're getting now.
We talk a lot about the Indians' offense as far as what Central may need to do or prepare for. What is the Indians' defense going to have to prepare for in Central Catholic?
No, they just have no weaknesses. This is a great football team. It really is. Sinceri just put the icing on the cake. They have the ability to run inside very well. Big, strong, blocking fullback. Lamont Smith can run the ball inside. Lamont's got great speed outside, as does the freshman running back. They'll sneak that fullback dive and fullback trap in there to Vaughn. A good offensive line. And like I said before, Sinceri kind of tops it all off because he's very elusive in the pocket. He throws the ball very well. And he's got 3 receivers and a good tight end to catch it. So Graham's task this week, I think, on the defensive side of the ball is to cover all bases. They're going to do this and do that, and if you break down on a coverage, they're good enough and smart enough to see it and make a big play out of it. So I think we almost have to play a flawless football game. You sit there and hope, well, if you keep them in long drives and field position, that eventually they'll fumble or turn the ball over. They just don't do it. So we're going to have to stop them and not sit back and hope that they stop themselves. And I would think that Terry is going to throw and run equally. He's not a one-faceted offense by any means. He can do a lot of things. And Terry's probably sitting there saying that I'm going to do whatever Neil tells me that I can do. So on the defensive side of the ball, if Ron's going to do this and that, Terry's going to see it and try to do this and that. Same thing that I mentioned on the other side of the ball. So I think Terry's in a wait-and-see type situation. I'm sure he's got a couple plans and wrinkles up his sleeve also. But meat and potatoes are what win the game.
Looking back into August when these kids first came to camp, if you could summarize your thoughts on the season so far. I'm sure a lot of folks didn't expect this, but, I mean, looking back what you had then, and now you're one game away from playing in the WPIAL championship at Heinz Field. I mean, what are your thoughts on these kids in this season?
You know, there are certain teams that make you think twice about what am I doing in this occupation. You know, it's time to get out and, you know, I got to go to practice again. And there are certain teams that tell you very quickly why you love it and why you want to be in it. And this is one of those teams this year. I enjoy coming to practice with them. They work hard. They listen to what they're told. And when you walk out of practice at the end of the day, you know you accomplished something because they learned something, whether it be we're going to slant to this and pinch to that or stunt to this or stunt to that. They know it, and they're going to do it. And if you would have told me in August that we would be sitting here, I'd say you were nuts. I certainly didn't think, with all the inexperience and no quarterback, you know, a bunch of sophomores playing quarterback and sophomores playing linebacker and a sophomore playing tailback and a sophomore playing tackle, and even the kids that were juniors and seniors and never played before. You know, you take Rash Gooseby, Aaron Williams, and a couple of those kids out of there, and these are all rookies. And they've played very, very well, and they have a confidence about them. They've made the school district proud, and they've certainly made me proud to be a part of them.
It makes you remember why we do what we do and why we love it so much.
Absolutely. This is one of those good years.
We always talk about the kids on the field. Very important part of the game is on the sidelines and in the locker rooms. Two very important people you brought along with you tonight.
Yeah, Kim Bachman, who I think is still coming from wrestling practice, great student, close to a 4.0, been with the program. This is her fourth year. And Heather Logan, great student again, maybe a 4.0 also. She's way up there. That has also been with the program for 4 years. And, you know, they're trainers. They're assistants to Sink and Tinky, and they do a great job of taping the ankles and doing this and doing that. But they do so much more, you know, whether you know, you forgot a play card, run in and get it for me. And, Coach, I brought this out. We brought the cleat cleaners out because it was starting to get a little bit muddy. They take care of all the water. They just take care of everything. And no matter what coach you talk to in high school, college, or pro football, they'll tell you that there are people around like Kim and Heather that you better have or you're in trouble. I've been blessed not only with a good team, but I've been blessed with two great girls to assist us for the last 4 years, and I think that we need to get their faces on TV, and you need to talk to them.
And you're absolutely right, and I look forward to it. Best of luck to you against Central Catholic this week. Let's hope that we can do this again next week and talk about Heinz Field. If not, it's been a great season, but let's hope we talk again next week.
Yeah, you've been saying that every week, so say it again. Yeah, I hope to see you next week. Thank you.
Coming up next, our Seniors of the Week as the Coach's Corner continues here on the MSA Sports Network. Our Senior of the Week, Heather Logan. Kim Bachman right now is in absentia, but we got Kim Logan with us. Kim, you want to talk about Heather. Heather, you want to talk about your role with the team. It's been a very important role the last 4 years. It's going to be weird next year looking at the sideline without you guys being there. But you want to talk about what you've done the last 4 years?
Me and Kim are both student athletic trainers, so we help with the sports medicine. We tape ankles, and we help with like any injuries. We give out ice, and we provide the water for the football players.
One thing I've noticed that whenever you guys are in the training room taping ankles and doing everything else, when these guys come in there and start fooling around, you guys don't take any crap. I mean, you guys are all business, and you know you're very serious once you get inside the training room.
Yeah, like we were just told like from the very beginning, like it's not like about friendships or relationship. It's like you're there to do a job. It's just like a job. It's volunteer work for me, for Key Club, and Kim as well. It's not like we're getting paid, but it's basically a job in the same sense.
Now, we're going on the road, even though we're the home team tomorrow, we're going on the road. We're going out to West Mifflin. Now, what do you guys need to do to prepare as far as everything to get it to West Mifflin?
Well, we put the ice in the buckets that we fill with water. We clean out the water jugs and we clean out the water bottles. We make sure the kits are all packed, and then tomorrow when the truck comes, we help pack it on the bus.
So, I mean, you don't have it's not a passive role. I mean, you guys are very involved into everything that makes this team go.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you guys aren't there, these kids are always looking around, saying, well, where's Heather? Where's Kim? We need this, we need that. And, I mean, if you're not there, I mean, these guys really they're kind of clueless.
Well, yeah, if, like, Kim or I miss the game, like, if there's only two of us, I mean, we do every sport, so it's really hectic if one of us or both of us miss the game.
Another thing is when the folks are at home, they're watching the game, and there's that timeout, and there's the big huddle out there, and they see those two girls coming out onto the field. That's you and Kim. You guys are coming out there and calling it the hydrators, bringing out the water, making sure everybody's drinking.
Yep, we do that, and then like if any injuries occur during the game, we have to be there to help. We're there as like aid to either call EMT if someone breaks their neck. We're there to help splint. We're both certified lifeguards and certified in CPR with the AED as well.
Is this something that you'd like to get into whenever you get out of high school? I mean, is this your plans for after high school?
Well, originally I had gotten into it because I considered a medical career going into medicine. Right now I'm more looking towards double majoring in zoology and Spanish. So, but something with the field with the sciences. So yeah, Kim's doing this though.
So I mean, but even something like this, as far as the training and everything, and you talk about zoology. I mean, if you get your hands on with animals, things like that, I mean, that should help with any kind of injured animals or anything like that. You would think.
Oh yeah, this is giving me so much experience. It's just I learned so much here. I mean, 4 years, and then we have to take a workshop every summer that we have to pay for and go to for a few days in the summer. So it's really educational.
You mentioned Kim. Is this the thing? She wants to get into this whenever she graduates?
Yeah, Kim's hoping to attend college for this. She's going for sports medicine.
So when you both go to college, you guys going away to college? Are you staying somewhere close by where maybe Coach could talk you guys into coming back and helping out?
I haven't really decided on the college. Either Kent State, Edinburgh, or Pitt, so somewhere nearer to here. And Kim wants to go far away. She wants to go up into New England. She likes the snow.
Well, that's on its way, so she'll be happy very soon. Well, best of luck to you. Thanks for coming in and talking to us, and hopefully we'll get to see you guys here in the training room for a few more weeks.
Okay, thank you.
That's Heather Logan, our Senior of the Week, here at the trainer of the 2006 Penn Hills Indians. Coming up next, it's semifinal action here in the WPIAL playoffs. The Indians and the Central Catholic Vikings from West Mifflin High School Stadium, and it's coming your way next here on the MSA Sports Network. From West Mifflin High School Stadium tonight, it's semifinal action in the 2006 WPIAL playoffs. Tonight, the Penn Hills Indians host the Central Catholic Vikings, a neutral site game here at West Mifflin High School. The Indians come into tonight's contest with a record of 9-1. They will take on the Central Catholic Vikings, who have a record of 10-1. The Indians captains for tonight: Carlos Scott, Mike Gooseby, Chris Darby, and Joe Rash for the Penn Hills Indians. Captains for Central Catholic: Lamont Smith, Anthony Bailey, Anthony Petrosini, and Stefan Wisniewski. The Central Catholic Vikings will receive the opening kickoff for tonight. Big matchup tonight, a couple of strong defenses going at each other. The Indians have a strong running game. Aaron Williams, 1,055 yards rushing, the only 1,000-yard rusher in Quad A left lane, going up against a stingy Central Catholic defense, giving up about 38 yards per game on the ground. So the key matchup tonight, will the Indians be able to run the football? Also, the Indian defense playing very well as well this season. Big matchup against the Central Catholic Vikings. Lamont Smith of Central Catholic, 880 yards rushing on the season. But Tino Sunseri, the Central Catholic quarterback, has a lot of targets receiving. Emmanuel Matthews and Quentin Williams lead Central Catholic, but he also goes to Adam Christis, Dan Vaughn, and Lamont Smith. So the Indians decked out in the gold helmets, the red jerseys, and the gold pants will be moving left to right. The Vikings in the blue helmets with the Viking swoosh, the white jerseys, and the gold pad. Good pants. Eric Mastriano will kick off, get things underway. Short, high kickoff will be taken at the 31-yard line, and the Vikings will return it out across the 42, the 45-yard line. That's the Vikings' Casey Totten with the return. So the Vikings will take over at their own 45-yard line. Mastriano was kicking them into the end zone there in warm-ups. Got underneath that one, high and short. And the Vikings will get things started in great field position. Again, Tino Sinceri, the quarterback. Keep your eye on big number 3, Lamont Smith, in the backfield. He's the key to their offense. And Sinceri, play action, will roll to his right, looks underneath, has a man, and the pass thrown out of bounds. Pressure on the play. On the play by the Indians, Teddy Blakeman. Andre Freeman was on the coverage. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 10 for the Central Catholic Vikings. There's the Central Catholic starting lineup. Again, Lamont Smith, the key to their running attack. Dan Vaughn is the fullback. You see a lot of him. Tino Sinceri, the quarterback. And keep your eye on those great wideouts in Totten, Matthews, and the tight end, Quentin Williams. So 2nd down and 10 for the Vikings at their own 45-yard line. Clock stopped with 11:51 to go here in the opening quarter. And Sinceri will go from the shotgun. He'll look for Smith out of the backfield. Rolls to the near side, has nobody in front of him, could run if he wants. Steps up across the 45. He already went over the line. He can't throw the ball. And the Indians will come on and sack him back at the 44. Sinceri stepped over the 45, was unable to throw, had nowhere to go, and Dan Mason comes in and will drop him for a loss back at the 42-yard line. Loss of 3 on the play to bring up a 3rd down and 13 for the Central Catholic Vikings. Still, we have not seen Lamont Smith with a run. Both times Central Catholic came out throwing, and the Indian secondary doing a nice job of covering everybody. Smith alone set back. Dan Vaughn is in the slot. Tino Sinceri is under center. Straight drop. Rolls to his right now, looks under pressure by the Indians, gets away, and he'll try to run, and he'll be sacked back inside the 40 at the 38-yard line. Teddy Blakeman with the sack for the Indians. Joe Rash also joining the fray. They'll be marking him at the 39-yard line. Another loss of 3 for Sinceri. And Central Catholic will bring on the punting unit. Clock running, looking under 10.5 to go. Carlos Scott back inside his own 30 for the Indians. As the Vikings look at 4th and 16. Another coverage sack by the Indians. And Central Catholic will get the kick away. High. Carlos Scott from his 17-yard line. Tries to find some room to go somewhere, and all he sees is white. And Scott will go down at the 17. Andrew Taglianetti coming up to make the tackle. Indians in a true run formation. And it'll be Aaron Williams trying to find a hole. Gets a couple, spins away out of one tackle, and gets out across the 20-yard line. Casey Dunn makes the tackle for Central Catholic, but not until Aaron Williams picks up a fine 3 yards and gets the Indians out of, gets them a little bit more breathing room, this time out at the 20-yard line. See the Indians starting offense right there. Kircher, Airgood, Wiley, Coyle, and Garrett, your offensive line doing a great job this year. Actually, Corey Kircher, the sophomore at the left tackle, came on due to injuries earlier in the season and earned himself a starting job, and he's got himself situated right in there. Eric Taylor, number 5, big game last week against Gateway. Fulton will go under center, and Rash will move in motion from right to left. That'll be Chris Darby. Darby on the end around, looks across the 20. Central closes quickly. And Darby will go down about the 24-yard line. And we're going to mark him at the 23, a pickup of 3. It'll be 3rd down and 4 now for the Indians. Sam Lockery on the tackle for Central Catholic. Good defense it is. There's Pittsburgh Central Catholic starting lineup for tonight. Now Carter and Scott split to the near side, top of your screen. It's Eric Taylor. Sipe is in front of Williams. And it'll be Williams on the delay, and the Vikings were there waiting for him. Will drop him back at the 21-yard line.
Number 88 in on a stop. Quentin Williams, also number 8.
Quentin Williams on the tackle for Central Catholic, and the Indians return the 3-and-out favor to Central Catholic. And they'll have to punt it. Central Catholic 2 men back, Emmanuel Matthews and Lamont Smith. And Coyle will drop back to kick from inside his own 10-yard line. Coyle with some boomers last week. Hurt his shoulder. Was not sure if he was going to get on some line play this week, but everything seems to be going well. Coyle, line drive kick. Smith at the 43-yard line, up the gut. Nice tackle by Blakeman to bring him down at the 40-yard line. Central Catholic, great field position. Central Catholic comes to the line here following the timeout. Again, Lamont Smith, the lone setback. You have Vaughn in the slot. He'll come in motion to the near side, and it'll be Lamont Smith. His first carry of the game, spins across the 35, down to the 34-yard line. Eric Taylor and Aaron Williams on the tackle for the Indians. Pickup of about 6 for Smith, and it'll be 2nd down and 4.
Just over 7 minutes left in the first quarter.
Sunseri under center. Vaughn goes in motion. Smith again. Has a small hole, picks up a couple of yards, goes down about the 32-yard line. Carlos Scott was leveled in the backfield. The Indians looking for a flag, nothing called there. So pickup of 2, we'll call it 3rd down and 2 for the Vikings. Clock running. 6:45 to go here in the first quarter. We're scoreless. I think you're looking at 2-down territory for the Vikings. Don't get it here. They'll definitely go for it on 4th down, I would think. And there goes Smith. He'll have the 1st down and more. Spins ahead into the secondary, down to the 20-yard line. DJ Wilds finally brings him down at the 19 after a 13-yard pickup. And the first down of the game goes to the Central Catholic Vikings as Lamont Smith spins ahead. The Vikings made a nice crease for Lamont Smith, who got into the secondary, and the Indians, DJ Wild, brings him down after a pickup of 13. Vikings now with a 1st down at the 19-yard line. Toss right, Smith tries to find a crack and does. Not much, gets a couple down to the 17.
Number 22 was in on the stop for Penn Hills,
Eric Broward making the tackle for the Indians. Down to about the 17, 2-yard pickup, 2nd down and 8 for the Vikings. Smith again has a hole. The Indians close, but not until Smith gets across to 15. Down to about the 13-yard line, a 4-yard pickup. It'll be 3rd down and 4 for the Central Catholic Vikings. And now you see what Central Catholic likes to do. It's the Lamont Smith show. Just tries to find himself a little bit of a crease, and there he goes right up the middle. Johnny Garrett making the tackle for the Indians, big number 74. Now the Vikings with a 3rd down.
That'll bring up 3rd down at the Penn Hills 13.
Stefan Wisniewski of the Vikings, number 63. 6'3", 270. Sunseri from the shotgun. Inside handoff, the Indians were waiting for Vaughn. Johnny Garrett with the tackle, maybe 2 yards. And it'll bring up a 4th down and 2 for the Vikings. Johnny Garrett there. Vikings unable to remove him. Eric Taylor finishes him off by removing the helmet. And the Vikings will go for it on a 4th, and we'll call it 3. Need to get inside the 10-yard line. The ball just out over the 12. Smith up the middle, has the 1st down inside the 10. Down to about the 9-yard line.
22 was in there, Eric Brown. 74 was in there, John Garrett. Also
So Garrett and Rash making the tackle for the Indians. But not until Lon Smith was able to pick up the first down to the 8-yard line, picking up a 4 yards. It's 1st and goal Vikings. Head coach Terry Totten, who grew up in the same neighborhood as Neil Gordon. 11 years younger, though. We're going to see Smith. Nope, play action. Sunseri is there, and Aaron Williams will drop him back at the 14-yard line.
Aaron Williams on the sack for the Indians. 2nd down.
5-yard loss. It'll be 1st or 2nd and goal back at the 13-yard line. Indians stayed at home. Now they'll split Casey Totten way out to the right. Vaughn is in the slot. Near side of the field is Emmanuel Matthews, and here comes Vaughn. There's the draw play. Smith has a lane to the near side. The Indians close, and he falls down at the 11-yard line. Broward with the tackle for the Indians. 2 yards for Smith. Eric Taylor drove him to the outside where Broward finally was able to come in, finish him off after he slipped. And that'll be 3rd and goal Vikings from just outside the 11-yard line. Clock running, approaching 2:20 to go here in the first quarter. We're still scoreless. Penn Hills and Central Catholic. Sunseri again under pressure, gets away, he's finally sacked, pitches the ball, no, they're going to call him down at the 19-yard line. Gooseby on the sack for the Indians. Drop him back at the 21-yard line, a loss of 10. And it'll be 4th down for the Vikings at the 21-yard line. They'll bring it on the field goal unit. See Sunseri down before he got the pass away. Nice call by the officials to see that. That was actually a tough one to see. And there's an injured Indian on the field. So the Vikings have an excellent field goal kicker. You have Matt Osipok. And Mark Menzietti, the injured Indian. Looks like he turned an ankle. That'll be a big loss for the Indians. Nice sign to see if he could actually kind of jog off a little bit, but he's making his way slowly. Well, Mark, since he was just a little guy. Now he's 6'3", 225. So Matt Osipik will try it from the 28-yard line. It's a 38-yard field goal attempt for the Vikings. Kick is up, and the kick is no good. It's wide to the left. So the Indians with their 2nd possession of the contest, coming out with 1:46 to go here in the first quarter. The Indians with so far 2 minutes and 14 seconds worth of possession time. And we're still scoreless. Aaron Williams, 2nd man through, busts to the outside across the 25. He'll be close to an Indian first down. Andrew Taglianetti making the tackle for Central Catholic. Watch Aaron Williams get in there, and he busts himself out to the outside. Shows the speed and goes down at the, what do you mark him, at the 29-yard line, a pickup of 9 on the play. That'll be 2nd down and a long yard for the Indians. I think if you're the Indians, you need to really get yourself, maybe try to get yourself a first down here, just to try to establish something. Twins to the left for the Indians. Taylor the end to the near side. And he's going to throw. Does Fulton throws it out towards Eric Taylor. And Eric Taylor is hit as he goes for the football, and a pass interference penalty will come in. The sideline had really called for that one. And Jerry Berardinelli, the referee, makes the call. It'll be a 15-yard penalty and a first down for the Indians.
Taylor almost had it. A little bit of a contact. It might have been a little bit of a ticky-tacky call, but the Indians get a break. Williams again, hit in the backfield. Keeps the feet moving, does a nice job to get back to the line of scrimmage for no gain. Quentin Williams on the tackle at all for the Central Catholic Vikings. And it'll be a 2nd down and 10 for the Indians as the clock approaches 35 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Nice shot of the Indian huddle.
30 seconds left in the first quarter.
And Mark Menzietti getting worked on the sideline. Do well for the Indians to get him back into action, hopefully. Sipes offset, wide receiver screen. There goes Carlos Scott, cuts it to the inside. Scott gets across the 45, out to the 48-yard line. 4 yards on the reception. And it'll be 3rd down and 6 for the Indians. And that'll do it for quarter number 1 after 1 period of play. We're scoreless, Central Catholic and Penn Hills. Carlos Scott with the nifty move. He'll be going the other direction when we come back here on the MSA Sports Network. Second quarter action about to get underway here at West Mifflin High School Stadium. There's the stats for the first quarter. Dominated by Central Catholic at time of possession, and the Indians now with a big 3rd down. Looks over the middle, has Dante Brown for a 1st down inside the Viking 35 at the 34-yard line. 18 yards on the reception. And that's a 1st down for the Indians. Fulton had Aaron Williams open in the slot to the near side. He was waving, but he also saw Dante Brown open over the middle. Dante Brown able to haul it in. The Indians, great field position now at the Viking 34-yard line with their 2nd 1st down of the game. Each team now with 2 1st downs. Fulton, play action, looks underneath, has the man, there's complete. Brandon Carter inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. 16 yards for Brandon Carter. And another 1st down for the Indians. Holy cow, Fulton, watch him on the play action. He sells this unbelievable. Look at the Vikings bite. Fulton steps in, throws. Brandon Carter wide open on the far side. Does a nice job to get a few yards after the catch. And the Indians a 1st down to mark him at the 19. That's a 15-yard pickup. And the Indians another 1st down. Now in great field position in the red zone at the Viking 19-yard line. Fulton audibles at the line. Williams spins across the 20, still on his feet down close to the 15. Aaron Williams 4 yards. And the Indians will be looking at a 2nd down and 6 from the 15. Dan Vaughn on the tackle for the Vikings. Look at Aaron Williams. Gets away from 1-man, 2-man, and down to the 15-yard line. Finally, the 3rd man brings him down. See that tough Viking running defense. Aaron Williams has been earning his yards so far. Power I formations for the Indians. Williams throws, has a man close to the end zone, and the pass batted away. Dante Williams was there. The pass batted down by the Vikings' Andrew Taglianetti. What an interesting play call. The Vikings stayed at home. Good, Aaron Williams threw just as he hit. And Taglianetti comes up over the top and bats it away. What a neat play. Pass just a little too high, but first pass attempt this season by Aaron Williams. Clock stops with 10:02. Now 3rd down and 6 for the Indians. Blakeman goes in motion left to right. Inside handoff. The Vikings were waiting for him, but Blakeman does a nice job to break 1 tackle and get down to about the 18-yard line.
Number 32 on the kick. Blakeman. Number 4 on the stop, Anthony Bailey. That'll bring up a big 4th down.
2 yards. It'll be 4th down and 4 for the Indians. And Mike Delaquila will try a 30-yard field goal.
Mike Delaquila to attempt the field goal. 25.
Carlos Scott will hold. The kick is up and the kick is blocked. And the Vikings have it at the 11-yard line.
Central Catholic takes over. There's a flag.
There's a flag on the play. Did the Vikings jump off sides? Offsetting personal foul penalties.
Offsetting personal fouls against both teams.
So both teams have missed field goals. He came in untouched.
First down, Central Catholic.
On the outside, the Vikings will have it at their own 12-yard line following the block with 9:20 to go here in the half. Vaughn across the 20-yard line.
Number 11, Dan.
We'll have a first down for the Vikings at the 23, an 11-yard pickup for Vaughn. 11 for 11. And the Vikings will move the sticks. And Vaughn looks like he's shaken up a little bit. And they're going to reset the game clock to read 9:14.
9:14. You're welcome.
Now first down for the Vikings at the 23-yard line, still scoreless.
First and 10 Central. At their own 23-yard line.
Sinceri sets the play, and it looks like somebody, either the Vikings moved or the Indians jumped off sides. And this one's going to go against the Vikings. So that'll be first and 15, Central Catholic, to move this back inside the 20-yard line to the 18. Movement on the left side of the Viking line. There you go, the wide receiver on the far side, jumped off sides. Movement on the Indian defensive line. They stayed on their side of the ball.
Number 60, Anthony Petrosini out over center. Number 12, Tino Sunseri quarterback.
Smith. Eric Taylor wraps him up in the backfield.
Smith on the carry, number 3. Stopped by number 5, Eric
Did
Taylor.
he get back to the line of scrimmage, or did he lose a yard? No, I'll call it no gain on the play. It'll be second down and 15. Eric Taylor came in, read the play nicely, was able to grab onto Smith and bring him down, drop him. Two teams stingy against the run on defense, and two teams with running offenses. Again, Aaron Williams came into the game tonight with 1,055 yards. Lamont Smith, 880 yards. So now second down and long for the Vikings. Sinceri will throw wide receiver screen, and it's caught and down. Matthews caught it on his knees at the 15-yard line, so he'll actually lose 3 yards on the reception. Or they're going to call it incomplete. It was probably well off for the Vikings that he did drop it, because it would have been a loss of 3. So it's 3rd and 15, actually 3rd and 16. Big third down here for the Indian defense. And Gooseby jumps off sides.
There's a flag on the play.
So instead of the 3rd and 16, it'll be 3rd and 11. Sinceri with the hard snap. Pulled off Gooseby.
Offside.
And the Vikings get an easy 5, although they did surrender 5 2 plays ago. So there's a little bit more you can do on 3rd and 11 than you could have done on 3rd and 15. Indian defense through 2 rounds of the playoffs. 4 defensive touchdowns. Sinceri checks the wristband. Play action, comes to the near side, under pressure from behind. Gets the pass away as a man wide open and the pass incomplete. Holy cow. Carlos Scott was on the coverage, but Emmanuel Matthews had the ball in his hands and should have had a first down for the Vikings. Instead, the punting unit will come on with 7:47 to go here in the first half. Threw back the other side of the field. As Thompson was closing, he was wide open. Matthews should have had that one. It falls incomplete. Now Carlos Scott will drop back about his own 45-yard line as the Vikings will punt. Vikings punting for the second time tonight. Kick is high, short. Scott will watch it bounce, and it takes a lateral bounce out of bounds at the 43-yard line. So the Indians will have great field position at their own 43-yard line. 7:38 to go here in the first half. A lot of time. The Indian faithful watching a scoreless tie thus far. Indians coming 1st and 10 at their own 40, marking them at the 44-yard line. Swing pass out, nice catch by Aaron Williams. Will have a first down for the Indians.
What a catch by number 24, Aaron Williams. 42 and 5. Number 42 on the stop, John Pittsburgh.
14 yards on the reception. First down. Look at this one-handed reception by Williams. Inside the 45 to the 43-yard line. High formation for the Indians. Have a man in the slot. Carlos Scott. They fake the end around to him. And Williams will get to the 40-yard line. Picks up 3.
24, Aaron Williams on the carry. 64 was in on the stop for Central Catholic.
Eric Miller, the tackle for Central Catholic. The Indians looking at a 2nd down and 7 from the Viking 40-yard line. Excuse me, was that Teddy Blakeman with the carry?
With 6.5 minutes left in the first half.
Eric Taylor split to the near side, twins up top, Carlos and Brandon. I formation behind Fulton, looks, sets it back. Aaron Williams takes the pitch, has the reception, gets across the 40. Nice block by Eric Taylor. Pick up about 3 yards on the reception.
Brought down by number 14, Andrew
Taglianetti with the tackle. He's had a great night defensively tonight for the Vikings. It'll be a 3rd down, and we'll call it 6 for the Indians. Good. Eric Taylor comes in, nice block, takes out 3 Vikings on 1 block. Taglianetti there to finish off Williams after the 3-yard pickup. And we'll call it 3rd and 6. That'd be more like 5, but we'll call it 6. Indians, a lot of room on the right side of the field if they go that way. Joe Rash comes in motion to the near side. And they're going to call a delay of game penalty. Was that 24 seconds already? See what's going on here. The officials are discussing this one. That seemed like an awfully quick 24-second clock. And the officials are going to... So the Indians call a timeout. I think the bench must have seen the back judge putting the hand up for 5 seconds. The Indians weren't ready, so they called the timeout. But boy, that seemed like an awfully quick 24-second clock. So the Indians avoided delay of game and get another shot at it at 3rd and 5. 2 timeouts now left for the Indians. See Neil Gordon there on the Indian sideline. Now here come the Indians following the timeout. 3rd down and 5. 5:30 to go. Fulton will throw. Quick pass. Has a man. Eric Taylor inside the 25. Inside down to the 20, 19-yard line. 18 yards to Eric Taylor. And a first down for the Indians. Taglianetti comes up to make the tackle. Look at the quick drop for Tommy Fulton. Gets the pass out to Eric Taylor. Carries Taglianetti inside the 19. Eric Taylor lost his footing. Otherwise, I think he might have carried Taglianetti for a bit more. But the Indians have a first down at the 19-yard line. Clock at 5:07 and running here, first half.
5 minutes left in the first half.
See Tommy Fulton on the night, 6:06, 59 yards. Williams up the middle across the 15. Down to the 13-yard line, 6 yards for Aaron Williams. Second down and 4 for the Indians. Sam Lockery, the tackle for the Vikings. 21 yards on 6 carries for Aaron Williams. Longest run of the game so far, I think, for him, 6 yards. Oh, he had a 9-yarder earlier. Fulton will throw under pressure towards the end zone. Taylor, and the pass batted away. Taglianetti on the coverage for the Vikings. Williams was there, but Taglianetti had the position. And the Indians fortunate he didn't intercept it, instead batted it down. So the Indians will have a 3rd and 4. The Indians, they went for the shot to the end zone, and why not? So if they're putting Taglianetti on Taylor, and he's been Mr. Everything for the defense, that might open things up for Carlos Scott and Brandon Carter, maybe even Joe Rash off the ends. But now a 3rd and 4 for the Indians. Play action, looking again towards the end zone. And Carlos Scott was intended for it. On the coverage was Anthony Bailey. And the Indians go towards the end zone again. And Mike Delaquila will come on to try his 2nd field goal of the game. All at the 13-yard line. I said this is going to be about a 30-yarder for Delaquila. Attempted a 30-yarder previously, which was blocked. His 2nd field goal attempt. Indians throw the fire. Blakeman down at the 11-yard line. First man through for Vaughn, and the Indians were there waiting. No gain on the play for Vaughn. Aaron Williams on the tackle for the Indians. And it'll be 2nd down and 10 for the Vikings. They were just shy of the 12. Now they'll mark them just shy of the 13. So we'll give them a yard. 2nd down and 9. Smith, the lone setback. Vaughn will go in motion. Draw play. Smith tries to find some room. Is held up at the line. Joe Rash got the paw in. Blakeman finished him off. And not until Smith gets out to about the 18-yard line. A pickup of 5. Call it 3rd and a short 4. Called 6 yards on the carry for Smith. 3rd and 4 Vikings. Smith again. Looks to get to the outside. Has some room. Smith into the secondary. And Smith will have a first down across the 40. Out to the 43-yard line. Blakeman comes up to make the tackle. Smith digs himself to the outside, finds a lane. And Blakeman from behind brings him down at the 43-yard line.
First and 10 Central at their own 43-yard line.
25-yard run for Smith. Sinceri from the shotgun. Under pressure, flushed out of his pocket, looks downfield, and he'll be sacked again. Back inside the 40. At the 37-yard line, Joe Rash with the sack on Sinceri. They'll lose 11 yards. Line of scrimmage was the 43. No, we can say the 43 to the 37. 6 yards. Excuse me, minus 6. Be second and 16. Joe Rash comes on and just brings him down one-handed. Do the draw to Smith, and Indians stayed at home. It's going third and about 14 when we come back following the timeout. Nice shot of the Indians' defensive huddle. Near side, sets it up. The Indians are there. Vikings 2 timeouts left. Clean. 1:20 to go here in the first half. Vikings 2 timeouts left. Clean played game, no turnovers so far. Sinceri tries the screen, near side, sets it up. The Indians are there, and it'll be dropped back at the 38. MSA Sports Network. Vikings 2 timeouts left. Clean played game, no turnovers so far. Sinceri tries the screen, near side, sets it up. The Indians are there, and it'll be dropped back at the 38-yard line.
Pass complete to number 88, Quentin Williams.
Williams with the reception, Rash with the tackle.
Also 45, Joe Rash on a stop. Timeout, Penn Hills.
Penn Hills will call a timeout. With 1:03, it's going to be a 4th down for the Vikings. The Indians are going to get a chance with the ball back. With time remaining, the Indians have 2 timeouts left. They'll watch for the Vikings to possibly fake a punt. Sinceri sacked about 4 times so far tonight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sacks the Indians have in the first half. Carlos Scott back at his 30-yard line. Indians have 10 men at the line. They'll drop a couple. Snap, kick away. Kick is short, goes out of bounds. Indians will have great field position at the 45-yard line. Will take over. with 58 seconds to go in the first half. The ball at the 45-yard line. Again, the Indians have 2 timeouts left. Clock stops if there's a first down to move the sticks. The Indians do get the ball to start half number 2, so any points the Indians could get here may be huge. They're able to come out in the second half and add on to it.
First and 10, Penn Hills at their own 45-yard line. 58 seconds.
Twins out to the near side, only one man covering. Now the Vikings send out another one. Aaron Williams across the 45. We'll pick up 1 for the Indians. Tackle on the play by Zach Tremont. And the Indians, with the running clock, go without the huddle. And Fulton at some point is going to have to start throwing. There goes Williams. Toss to the right side. Another 2 yards for the Indians. And the clock continues to run. I understand why the Indians called timeout before the punt.
10 seconds left in the half.
And I think the Indians are going to let the clock wind down and try for one more play. Or they're just going to let the clock wind down. Indians will let the clock wind down. After 1 half of play, Penn Hills Central scoreless. Second half action coming your way next. Don't go away. 24 minutes to decide who goes to Hines here on the MSA Sports Network. Darby on the near side. And up top is DJ Wilds. So the Indians here in quarter number 3 will be moving right to left. Vikings kickoff high, short. Darby at the 27-yard line. Tries to find some room and will go down at the 30-yard line. Nice coverage by the Vikings. High kicks like that and let the coverage teams cover some ground. So they give up a little bit of yardage to stop a return, and the Indians have it good field position at the 30-yard line. So the Indians would love to get a running attack going again. Strong second half last week against Gateway. Indians have been strong in the second half all season. Williams will go in motion. Toss right side for Blakeman. Blakeman has some room up across to the 35-yard line. We'll pick up 5 yards. So the Indians use Aaron Williams as a decoy. And Blakeman gets up to the 35. Oh, they're actually going to mark it back at the 33, a pickup of 3. Actually 4. So second down and 6 Indians. Again, Williams goes in motion right side. Blakeman again across the 35, out close to the 37. Lockery on the tackle for Central Catholic. So it needs to get to the 36-yard line, a pickup of 2. It'll be third down and 4. Fulton started off 6 for 6. Throws here. It'd be nice to see him get his rhythm back going. And he will roll to his right. Lokes downfield, has Taylor on the slant, and Taylor unable to hold on to it at the 34-yard line. Taylor was there as a bit of a wobbler. Taglianetti on the coverage. He's been everywhere tonight for the Viking defense. And Coyle will have to come on to punt for the Indians. Smith and Matthews back for the Central Catholic Vikings. And the Indians do indeed fake the punt. Carlos Scott will have a first down for the Indians across the 45 to the 46-yard line.
First down.
Carlos Scott moves the sticks for the Indians. I had an inkling it was going to happen. Seriously. Done with the tackle for the Vikings. Direct snap to Carlos Scott, who had a lane, cuts it back, gets the first down after picks up 10 yards, and the Indian offense stays on the field.
First and 10 Indians at their own 46.
Williams again in motion. And Blakeman will get nothing there. So actually we'll lose a yard.
Stopped by number 11,
Dan Vaughn with the tackle for the Vikings. And it'll be 2nd down and 11 for the Indians. So Aaron Williams has not touched a football yet this half. They've been going to Teddy Blankman.
9.5 minutes left in the third quarter. That ball spotted at the 45.
Twins over to the right. I formation. Play action. Fulton sells everybody. Taylor wide open in the flat near side. Across the 50. Taylor up the sideline inside the 30. Written out of bounds. Casey Dunn with the tackle at the 26-yard line.
Casey Dunn. How many yards was that? Ball's on the 45. It's now on the 27.
28 yards on the reception and a first down.
That's a 28-yard pass play from number 18, Tom Fulton. To number 5, Eric Taylor. First and 10.
Tommy Fulton can sell the play action. And the Vikings jump off sides. So it'll be 1st and 5 for the Indians. The ball will move to the 23-yard line.
Offside, Central Catholic. It's this point in the game where I think Central Catholic is realizing we got to fight on our end.
Fulton sets the troops back, split behind him. First man through is Blakeman. It's been a Teddy Blakeman show here on the ground for the Indians. Blakeman maybe a yard.
Number 4 on the stop, Anthony Bailey. 2nd down.
We'll get down to the 20, we'll call it the 22. Call it 2nd down and 4. Pickup of 1 for Blakeman.
2nd down, Indians at the Vikings 22-yard line.
Blakeman up, Aaron Williams deep, Carlos Scott, Brandon Carter split to the right, Taylor to the left. Williams will go in motion. 2nd down and 4. Fulton will throw again. Taylor, touchdown Penn Hills! Eric Taylor, 22 yards. The Indians are on the board.
Taylor. From number 18, Tom Fulton.
Again, Tommy Fulton. Watch him sell the play fake. Watch him. Play action. Everybody bites, sets, throws. Eric Taylor. There it is. Puts it right where it needs to be. Eric Taylor holds on, and the Indians draw first blood here in the second half. Touchdown coming with 8:24 to go here in the third quarter. Mike Delaquila to try the point after out of a Carlos Scott hold. Kick is up. And the kick is good. 8:24 to go. Third quarter. Penn Hills 7. Central Catholic nothing here on the MSA Sports Network. So the Indians use 2:36 of the clock. Goes 70 yards. In 8 plays. Key, the fake punt. And Carlos Scott picked up. Mastriano, short kick. Picking up at the 30-yard line. Hold to the near side. And the Vikings will have nice field position at the 43-yard line.
Number 19 on the return, Jeffrey Knox.
There's Jeffrey Knox on the return. Carlos Scott and Ryan Sipe making the tackle, and the Vikings have nice field position at their own 44-yard line. They'll get the ball first time with 8:18 to go in the half. First time they've trailed in a long time. Sunseri under center, and the Vikings do not do well here on their first play. Tight end jumps, and it'll be 1st and 15. A lot of time left in this game. Certainly no time for the Vikings to panic. Down by 7. Marvelous football game if you're a fan of defense. The Indians managing to get a touchdown on the board here on their opening drive of the second half. Very clean football game, no turnovers, very few penalties.
Number 60, Anthony Petrosini out over center. Number 12, Tino Sunseri,
Sunseri will be under center. Sunseri throws the wide receiver screen. Looking for a block on the outside, and the Indians are right there. Carlos Scott will come up and drop Matthews. Picks up 3 yards, but Carlos Scott came up in a hurry. DJ Wilds forces him to the outside, and Carlos Scott comes in and finishes him off. Look at that speed by Carlos Scott. Oh, it's 2nd down and 12. Smith, his first carry of the game, looks to get to the outside and does. Smith will have a 1st down for the Vikings at the Indian 41-yard line. 16 yards for Smith. Carlos Scott again with the tackle. And the Vikings have a 1st down. We're down to 4. They're going to mark him at the 40-yard line, 17-yard pickup. And so far, the Vikings answering nicely following the Indian touchdown. Smith into the pile. Eric Broward into the arms of Eric Broward at the 36-yard line. 4 yards for Smith. Actually, it'll be 3 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 7. Clock under 7 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter. Opening possession of the half for the Vikings. The Indians, their possession, they scored a touchdown. Smith again gets away from a tackle in the backfield, gets into the secondary. Smith dives over tacklers inside the 25, down to the 23-yard line. 14 yards and a 1st down, and Eric Taylor is injured for the Indians. I think it might have been Eric Taylor who Smith went up and over. Perhaps getting his bell rung in there. Didn't quite see what happened, but that's huge for the Indians. Eric Taylor, he caught the touchdown pass from Fulton just moments ago. And we'll take a timeout. 6:45 to go here, 3rd quarter. Penn Hills 7, Central Catholic nothing. They're on the MSA Sports Network. So keep it here while they work on Eric Taylor. There's the Indians sideline watching. Taylor had such a great game last week against Gateway. Big game tonight so far. Taylor sits up. See, perhaps he got his bell rung. The 6'3", 220-pound senior. There he comes.
Let's hear it for number 5, Eric Taylor.
That's just got the wind knocked out of him, which would be helpful. Nice shot there, center Josh Wiley. He's walking off. The way he's walking off, it looks like he perhaps did just get the wind knocked out of him.
At the Penn Hills 23-yard line.
So I formation behind Sunseri. Smith again. Tries to find a lane, and Dan Mason comes flying through to stop him for no gain. Dan Mason just closed that hole quickly. Smith trying to find the crack, and there comes Mason. They just popped Lamont Smith for no gain. 2nd down and 10 for the Vikings. Clock at 6:10 and running. First man through is Vaughn. Tries to get to the outside and does. Vaughn down inside the 10-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal. Vikings at the 9. DJ Wilds with the tackle.
Carlos Scott in on the stop.
14 yards on the pickup. First and goal, Vikings at the Indian 9. We're going to mark them at the 8-yard line.
At the Penn Hills 8-yard line.
So 15 yards for Vaughn.
5:50 left in the third quarter.
Smith comes up and out. And they're going to call a, look like some movement on the line for the Vikings.
Flag on the play.
And we'll mark this one back 5 yards. So it'll be first and goal from the 13-yard line. So the Vikings had a first and goal in the first half. Penalty marching back since Sari was sacked and a complete pass. Smith has a hole inside the 5. Touchdown, Central Catholic.
Number 3 up the left side for the touchdown. 13 yards out for number 3, Lamont Smith.
So Central Catholic an extra point from tying it. The counter play, Lamont Smith takes it and goes into the end zone.
Ozzie Park to attempt to tie this ball game.
7 plays, 56 yards for the Vikings. Ozzie will try the point after, and it looks like the Indians jump off sides.
Flag on the play.
The Indians jump off, or were they pulled off? It's offside, so we'll move this halfway.
Offside, Penn Hills, half the distance.
So the Vikings do not decide to go for 2. Well, at least they don't set up for it.
To attempt
Zapak to try the point after. Indians were coming. Here they come again. The kick is up, and the kick is blocked. The kick is blocked. The Indians hold on to the lead. I didn't see who got in. I don't know if it was blocked or if he kicked it right into the line. He may have kicked it right into his own line.
making the score.
So 5:27 to go here, third quarter. It's Penn Hills 7, Central Catholic 6 here on the MSA Sports Network. Kick high, taken at the 24-yard line. Darby trying to find a lane, gets across to 30.
Number 30.
Late flag comes in.
51 on the stop.
Ball at the 32. Let's check the flag. Saw a Central Catholic player come flying in at the end. Did he come flying in on his own, or was he pushed in? It's a face mask call.
Face mask penalty against Central Catholic.
So Darby on the return is an incidental face mask right there. So they'll give him 5 yards, and we will start at the 37.
Josh Wiley, 56 out over center. Dan Fulton.
So the Indians, the first time they have the ball actually with the lead. Last offensive play they had was the touchdown, and the Vikings answered. Fulton will throw. Indians step up and block downfield. Brandon Carter, and there's contact, and there's no call. Taglianetti on the coverage. Pass incomplete.